Hello and welcome to November 2023's 5-day free and live workshop, Get Unfucked. If you missed it live on Instagram or if you just want to listen to it in your ear again, we have it right here for you on the podcast. Okay. And as you know, on the 5th day of Get Unfucked, which is this Sunday, November 19th, doors to the Unfuck Yourself Academy, November 2023, open and you can enroll. Now, if you are on the wait list for UIA, then you get access to a special code for $400 off of UIA the first 48 hours. And you also get early enrollment a few hours before it actually opens. Either way, enjoy this year's November 2023 free and live workshop, Get Unfucked. I have it right here for you to listen to. Let's get into it. So today, you're in membership. Amazing. Yeah, if you're in membership, keep an eye out tomorrow because you're going to get an email with early enrollment access and a special code for $500 off. It's valid for 48 hours. Good morning, Melissa. We were just talking about you and how you just manifested 3K within 2 days, which is incredible. Cool. Okay, let's get into it. Today is all about trauma healing and limited belief healing. So what the topics are that we're going to go into today can be, it can trigger an emotion inside of you. And if it is triggering an emotion inside of you, that is something to really lean into and really look at. Trauma, we have been conditioned to blame and play the victim game and make it mean something about us for the rest of our lives. But the only person that's hurting is ourselves. And it doesn't even really make sense to do that because on a soul level, our souls choose our trauma. Our souls choose our parents. Our souls choose the people who raised us. Our souls choose the traumatic events that gone on in our life. And if that is bringing up an uncomfortable feeling in you, that's okay. That's only happening because we've been taught to kind of play the blame game and victim game our whole life when it comes to trauma, because the powers that be of the world, the people who run the world, don't want you in power. So they'd much rather have you be in a victim mentality. So we are going to take our power back. And I know it sounds counterintuitive, but when we can fully understand and realize and immerse ourselves in the idea that our soul chooses our trauma, then we can take our full power back. Someone said, clearly my soul is an idiot. Good. So your soul is not an idiot. Your soul is insanely smart. Okay. And this is coming from someone, I am not ignorant to trauma. I have been through my fair share. I have experienced sexual abuse. I have experienced physical abuse. I've experienced mental emotional abuse all as a child. And the list goes on. So I am not coming at this from an ignorant place. I'm coming at this from a soul perspective, a source perspective place. So if our soul knows what it is coming back here to do, okay, our soul's not coming back to earth for no fucking reason. Our soul has very much a plan coming back down to earth in a human body. So our soul needs to get us in alignment with it. It needs to get us listening to it. No one has ever gotten anything accomplished or done in their life not going through some kind of adversity. And going into that, no one's trauma is actually better or worse. Every soul chooses its own level 10 trauma to experience. So even if you're wanting to say right now, oh, well, what about, my friend or the people who, grow up and they have a perfect family, they live a perfect life, they're giving everything they needed. That is their trauma. that is their trauma. Have you ever noticed people who were given everything that they ever needed, handed it to them, that they always don't know then how to go be independent? I had a friend and she was handed everything to her. And then she just grew up, didn't know how to do her own anything, and is now in her late 20s still not knowing like how to function in life. And that is her trauma, right? So we cannot compare and say our trauma is better or worse than someone else's. Our soul chose our own personal, what was going to be our level 10 trauma. So something that I experienced, which was my soul's level 10 trauma, might have been someone else's level 6 trauma. And what that person experienced was their level 10 trauma, but it might have been my level 4 trauma. Our soul knows what it's doing. Our soul knows what it's doing. So it chooses these things to get us to where we need to go. My soul had an agenda of coming back here. My soul wanted to awaken to my own potential so it could help other people awaken to theirs. How is it going to do that? If my soul came here and I just remembered my potential, how the fuck would I help anyone else? What would I do? Make a workshop and just be like, oh, I remembered my potential. That's it. There you go. Good luck. Have fun. I wouldn't have any fucking tools to give you to go help you remember and access yours. My soul chose, okay, if she, and I love my parents. I've done so much healing and I am so grateful for my parents. So when I say this, I'm saying it as like what my soul was probably thinking before it came back here. My soul was like, if I align myself with a dad who's gonna literally be insanely critical of me and hard on me, who's never gonna be there, who's gonna kind of leave and come back, who's going to, be super, super deep in anger, who's gonna have all these things. And if I then pick the mom who's gonna be really, really sweet and passive, but too much of a people pleaser and doesn't really stand up for herself and just kind of like tiptoes around the anger that's going on in the house, then the soul is going to then create a human with a low sense of self-image, who is a people pleaser, who is afraid to speak her truth because she's afraid like shit's gonna fucking blow up and someone's gonna yell at her. And what happens with that, I'm gonna get so tired of that. The soul's like, then she's gonna get so tired of it, she's gonna finally do something about it. Then she's gonna do something about it, she's gonna heal herself, and then she's gonna feel so good, and then she's gonna inspire other people to help. She's gonna want to help other people who wanna heal. And that's what my soul did. And that's exactly what fucking happened. That's exactly what happened. And so in that process, I got so fucking grateful for my upbringing. I love my dad. I love my mom. I love my parents so fucking much because I might cry thinking about it. Our souls had a contract for each other, and my dad's soul loved me so fucking much that he chose to play that part in my life so that my soul could go through that experience, heal, feel better, and then make my life what I've always wanted to make it. The person who gives you the most trauma is actually the soul that loves you the most. On a soul level, the person who has given you the most hard time, trauma, limiting beliefs, whatever, is the soul who is soul family to you and who fucking loves you more than fucking anyone else. And that soul loves you so fucking much that it chose to come down in a human body, be the way that it is, to make you a certain way, make you have certain traumas and limitations so you could work through them, so you could heal and shift, and then so you could then go and create what your soul's here to create accordingly. They love you so much. And we have to remember, our parents are the people who raised us. They are doing the best that they can with what they know. It is not personal. And our soul knew what it was doing. Our soul knew what it was doing. Because if I just was out of the womb and was never taken away from my self-image and was never taken away from my soul potential, I wouldn't know how to help anybody else align with their soul potential or have a high self-image. I would be so confused as to why no one just doesn't have a high self-image. I'd be like, well, I just have a high self-image. I don't know. I can't fucking make a course out of that. I can't help anybody with that, right? There's nothing I can do with that information. But my soul is fucking smart, and so is everyone's soul. Everyone's soul is fucking smart. They're like, okay, I'm going to give this person this mom. I'm going to give this person this dad. I'm going to give this person this, whoever raised you, this life experience, because it's going to make them feel like this. And it's going to lead them to feeling like this. And in that process, they're going to create something that is going to be incredibly helpful to whether it's just their children they raise, to whether it's the world, to whether it's whoever they're around, whatever it is. Our soul chooses it. I've experienced in my life, I've talked to so many souls, and every single soul, I have never seen one soul who did not choose what they were going to experience. They all knew what they were signing up for. And you're going to be haunted by every single fucking trauma that's ever happened for you until you understand that it happened for you. Your soul chose it. As long as you're a victim to it, you will continue to be haunted by it. And you'll continue to have this like self-deprecating humor around it that is no longer doing you any good. It's like drinking poison but expecting the other person to die. It's only hurting you. It's not doing anything to them. What is you holding on to resentment doing? What is that doing? What is you blaming all your life's issues on that doing? It's only hurting you. They're over there still just living their life. Okay? When we can take our power back, we stop becoming a victim. When we stop becoming a victim, we start being able to gain massive, radical control of our reality and what we create in it. Because who here has recreated relationships that mirrored however mom or dad or whoever raised them made them feel, or what maybe their parents' relationship? Who here has at least at some point created relationships like that, or have found those feelings somewhere else in your life? We will recreate me, good. We will recreate these experiences over and over and over and over again until we understand the lesson, what it was here to show us, why our soul chose it, so we can heal, shift, and move on. Then we can stop repeating the pattern. Good, everyone's raising their hand. Totally, I have too. We all have. Remember like we talked about on day one, the reflections follow us. They follow us until we understand what they're saying. We shift the emotional thing that is continuing to cause them, and then we move on. Okay? I remember in high school, I dated somebody just like my dad, just like my dad. And even in high school, I had the awareness, I was like, yeah, like this isn't right. Like this isn't, like I'm repeating a pattern here. And in high school, he even like cheated on me. Like my dad, like has gone on in my family. I gotta be careful what I'm saying on here, but it has gone on in my family. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm like repeating this pattern. And even in high school, I was like, okay, I don't like this situation. Like I will not be continuing to do this. So I didn't really have the right tools then, but I even knew then I was like, I don't like this pattern that's getting created here. Cool. So we will continue to repeat a pattern until we take our power back and stop becoming the victim. We can blame people all we want What the fuck is that going to do for you? Has it done anything for you this far? And it's okay. And he goes, and now her boyfriend is a stud. He's not wrong. What is that going to do for you? It's not going to do you any good. And this is not about spiritual bypassing anger, resentment. That is okay. That is valid. Soul chose for you to go through that so you could experience that. I experienced a lot of anger for a really long time. Okay. I experienced a lot of resentment. I experienced a lot of almost like grief. And those feelings are okay. What we don't want is to have them suppressed and kind of shove them down and put them in the closet and then go about our day. Because those feelings, they manifest and they come up throughout our day and then they manifest into the body. What we want to do is we want to feel those feelings, but allow them to come out. We have to allow them to come out of the body. We have to allow them to come out of the body. When they are out of the body, there is then room in the energy field, in your emotional body, in your mental body, in your physical body, in your energetic body. There is then room to reprogram. There is then room to choose and think and feel differently. But if we hold these emotions and we feel it again and then we shove it down, and then we feel it again and then we shove it down, and then we feel it again and then we shove it down, and then we feel it again and then we shove it down, it's like just a ticking fucking time bomb, okay? And then one thing goes on, it triggers your insecurity that you had from your trauma, and you don't know what to do, and you're out of control of your emotions. And when we hold this stuff in, or we just kind of sweep it under the rug, what happens is it will manifest. We can remember from day one, we cannot outrun reflections, we cannot outrun energy, we cannot outrun our emotions. So we think like we can just kind of shove it over here in the corner and then move on with our day, but it's there and it's simmering and it's getting more built up and it's getting more built up until one day it's just fucking, you just snap. It's like a switch that goes off and you feel that you have no control over it. What we get to do is we get to let ourselves feel these feelings. I know it's uncomfortable, but what's more uncomfortable? Feeling your feelings now or having them manifest into the body, getting ailments and disease down the road? Feeling uncomfortable now or having them manifest into situations, circumstances in your life where they continue to just bubble up? Both options are uncomfortable, right? But which one is less uncomfortable for the least amount of time? Just feeling them now. We have to allow them to come up, actually allow ourselves to feel them. And the more we allow them to come up, I want you to see them like a color. Like, what color is it? Is it red? Is it green? I'm gonna go with option one. Yes, great plan. Is it red? Is it green? What color is this emotion? And just see yourself pulling it out of you, like seeing it being pulled out. And in Unfuck Yourself Academy, we have 4 modules, like an hour long each, of trauma healing, where we do a lot of work on this, and energy work and energy recoveries and cutting cords and all of that kind of thing too. But today I want you to just see this emotion getting pulled out and pulled out and pulled out, and allowing yourself to feel it as it comes out. When we can feel it, we start to allow ourselves to release it from the body. When it's released, we now have all this room in our energy to start to reprogram and feel differently. We have room. If it's all the way up here, there's not much room. We got to let it come out, pull it out and pull it out and pull it out. And now we have room to bring in the new things. Nothing like a good energy recovery. Jana knows, she's an Unfuck Yourself Academy graduate and has done many energy recoveries. It's crazy how they work. You feel like a whole new fucking person after one. We have many in Unfuck Yourself Academy. Good, amazing. I'm glad this is resonating. So again, souls choose our trauma. Why? Because imagine if I just popped out and never had any trauma or limiting beliefs. How the fuck is my soul gonna get on its mission? If my soul's mission is to help as many people as who want to be fucking helped, How is my soul going to help people if I don't have any fucking experiences to share or to be able to heal from? I wouldn't be a help to fucking anyone because I wouldn't be relatable. I'd be so confused and no one would trust me. They'd be like, this bitch doesn't know shit about anything trauma-wise. Like she can't help me, right? So every single, whether you're here to like help people on a big way or on a small way or whatever it is, you're here, your soul is back for a reason. It's on purpose for a purpose. It has a mission it's here to do. And whatever it chose for you to experience is here to single-handedly help you with that mission. My soul knew what it was signing up for. My soul knew the power that I have within me, just like everyone else has the same amount of power within them. And it knew how to get me to lose my power so I could find my power. And in that process, I would be able to have tools and modalities and things that I have found worked that I can then share. So it makes so much sense. I'll tell you how. If you don't have any trauma, you don't have to waste any energy healing from it, and you can use that energy to help other people instead. Good. It's how would you help other people if you don't know how to help other people because you've never helped yourself through anything? How would you do that? And the longer you stay wishing your trauma away, the more time you're wasting, not healing it, and the more time you're wasting just not getting to the life that your soul desires to live, and the more time you're going to be just annoyed and triggered constantly. So if we can just see how all of those things happen for us because they did, and no one here has experienced anything worse or better than anybody else. Your soul chose your own personal level 10 trauma. So stop thinking that yours is worse than someone else, because all that's doing is keeping you in a victim role your whole entire life, and all that's doing is causing more of it to fucking happen. Over and over and over again. Good. So, now that we know this, we are going to think about one person who comes, wait, let me see. So it's normal to have intense emotions come up when we start to shift. Yes, very normal to have intense emotions come up when we start to shift. Very, very normal. Okay? So when we start to shift, like we talked about before, remember, if we are trying to quantum leap and to a new level, to a new expanded version of ourselves, the old stuff cannot come with us, right? So if we are working on seeing the neutrality in everything, instead of letting anger consume us all the time, what's gonna happen when we're jumping from the anger quantum field possibility to the neutrality quantum field possibility? What's gonna happen? That anger that is allowing us to be consumed by it can't come with us, okay? So what has to happen? It has to fucking come out. We have to feel it really intensely. We have to release it from the body, and it's gonna be very intense. But if we can endure that intensity of that emotion, then we can release it from the system, and we can learn how to see the neutrality in everything. Anger is not bad or good. Emotions are not bad or good. They are both. I don't resonate with someone saying that you should never have anger or that you should never feel anything or an emotion. That's not like my vibe. I'll experience anger to this day. However, something that used to take me months or years to overcome, I can shift out of in a few minutes. Authentically, because I have trained myself to see the neutrality in everything. So if something is making me angry, one, I just get grateful for the anger. I'm like, thank you, because this is showing me right now. This is showing me that I'm angry. This anger is showing me something. It's helping me in somehow. Then I see the reflection in it. I see what it's trying to show me and teach me, because it's only helping me get what I've asked for. then I can see the neutrality in it, because I'm like, we associate anger as bad, but anger is also equally good. So we get to see the neutrality in what's going on. And then when I neutralize whatever is making me angry, then I'm no longer angry and I'm just neutral. And in Unfuck Yourself Academy, that's like a full module and full situation where we really dive into and like learn how to cultivate within yourself. But today we have more of a different focus. So yes, I remember someone once told me I should be blissful about life all the time. Yeah, I don't resonate with like the toxic positivity vibe, or like, be positive, just be positive. Like, I don't, and that's coming from someone who like, this is my life's work. Like, I'm trying to like help people feel better, right? No, it's neutral. If you can see the neutrality in everything, because everything in this universe is equally positive and equally negative. If we can see the neutrality in everything, we are doing it. We are doing it. So what I want us to do is, the first person that comes to mind when I say trauma, or when I say like anger, resentment, the first person that comes to mind, I want us to write a letter to today. That's going to be your homework. And you're not going to send it. Do not send the letter. Do not send the letter. This is not a letter that you send. This is a letter that we're going to rip up or burn, and we're going to dispose of it. This is not a letter that you send. Okay? We're going to, please do not send the letter. That is not the point of this exercise. We are going to write the letter, and we're going to allow ourselves to ignite all these emotions in us and get them out of our system. So, dear whoever, I'm so fucking pissed, blah, 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 blah. Be the victim for a second. You're allowed to be the victim in this letter. Get it out, get it out, get it out. You did this to me, you did that, get it out, get it out, get it out. Okay? Once you feel, you're gonna feel your body get lighter. It's gonna like feel lighter. Once you feel like it has been out, that at least that chunk of it has been purged out of your system, we're going to write and say, I choose, declare, and give permission to release all of these emotions that are no longer serving me from my energetic, physical, mental, and emotional body now. And so it is. Yes, it can be toward your younger self. It can be toward anybody. It can be toward anybody. And if more people come to mind, write them all the fucking letter. Again, do not send the letter. We are not sending the letter. We are not sending the letter. When we write the letter, this is us acknowledging our emotions that we have maybe suppressed for a very, very long time, but we're allowing them to come out of our body so we can move on. Remember, holding on to this stuff is like drinking your own poison but expecting the other person to die. It is not doing anybody any good, and it's not like showing them anything. Like, I used to think like, oh, if I hold on to my anger, like I'll show them, they'll see I'm so angry, and then they'll feel bad. They probably won't. There's probably not the self-awareness there, and that's not showing them anything. Like, you're then living your life to show someone else something. Like, what a silly thing to do once we know better. Now, up until this point, we didn't know better, right? So we're not going to blame ourselves for not knowing better in the past, because we did the best with what we could, with what we knew. Up until right now, we did not know any better, and that's okay. We did the best with what we could, with what we knew. And now we have the opportunity to be able to set ourselves free. Set ourselves free of these things. Let me see. Well, the paper will be wet with tears. Good. Get it out. Get it out. Get it out. Sends letter to family member. Yeah, do not do that. No, not the point of this letter. What if the person is continuing to give me trauma? Good. You are in control if the person continues to give you trauma now that we know what we know. Okay? You are in control of the person who continues to give you trauma. So if we're saying, what if the person continues to give me trauma? You're immediately putting the power in their hands and immediately making yourself the victim. When we can start to heal and shift, and again, healing from this is not just gonna happen in our quick little 1 hour workshop today. In Unfuck Yourself Academy, we go through deep healing work of this stuff. So today, let's just focus on releasing the anger, Oh my gosh, thank you, Chris, for putting that in there. Christina right there just put in the statement to write at the end, and to saying it out loud at the end is powerful too. But definitely also write it. Once you write the letter, we are going to either burn it, we're gonna flush it down the toilet, we're gonna rip it up, we're gonna throw it away outside in the dumpster. It's not gonna sit in your home. We're gonna rip it up, we're gonna burn it, we're gonna throw it. If you don't wanna burn it, we've gotta throw it away outside in the dumpster somewhere. We cannot hold on to it. And continue to do this for anyone that comes to mind that you're pissed at. Unfuck Yourself Academy is the bee's knees. Thank you. I like that. It is the bee's knees. That needs to go on the sales page. We're going to continue to release it. So if other people come up that you're feeling that anger toward, thank you, Christina. Christina is a UIA graduate. She just said UIA is the best. If it's still there after one person, we're going to then write another letter to the next person. We're writing however many letters you have to write them. Maria Faye says, literally healing a lifetime of anger with this stuff. Yes, Maria Faye just graduated UIA this past round. Need to get rid of it. I used to write them in my iPad and nothing changed because I wasn't releasing it. Yes, good. It's good to get it out of your body for sure that way, but definitely there's something really powerful about ripping it up and just getting it out, like not having to go relook at it. And again, in Unfuck Yourself Academy, we really dive in because this topic is heavier, right? We really dive in really deeply to steps on how to fully clear this from your system and neutralize it and forgive and move on. Unfortunately, we don't have all that time today. So step one is we're writing the letters. We're starting to get those emotions out of our body. We've got to get that energy moving out of the body so we have room to create new. Okay, that is your homework tonight. And again, every single soul that I have ever seen, that I have ever come into contact with, has showed me that it shows everything that human self experienced because it knew what decisions you were going to make and how you were going to feel about it before it even happened. And it knew that would drive you to get so fucking tired of it. That's why you're here. It knew it would drive you to get so fucking tired of it that you would do something about it. And in that process of you doing something about it, I promise you your greatest fucking shifts and ideas are going to be had and created. Why I'm even tapped into my intuition at such a young age was because I didn't feel safe in my own home when I was younger. So it forced me to tap into my intuition to be able to talk I talked to angels a lot when I was younger, and just to like have that sense of safety. If I even maybe felt safe as a child, maybe I would have never tapped into my intuition. What the fuck would I be fucking doing with my life? Who knows? This is like my favorite thing ever to do. So everything that you've experienced, if it feels like it was traumatic, your soul chose it because it was very, very purposeful to lead you into the trauma you've experienced and the potential and purpose it is here to have and do. Our souls are very, very, very intelligent, way more intelligent than our human brains. Way more intelligent than our human brains. What does a soul look like? Well, to me, and everyone could see it differently, to me, they look like just a ball of gold. Just like a ball of gold is what a soul looks like to me. I talk to angels as well. Good, yes, incredible, incredible. Yeah, I mean, even the stuff my soul chose to be born into, where it didn't feel safe, like that single-handedly pushed me into tapping into my intuition, which is like what has created my whole life, it's like the bread and butter of my work. It's how I'm able to intuitively read people and get really, really clear on exactly what's going on in their energy field. It happened for me. And I used to take on like anger as like a personality trait and be like, oh, like, that's just who I am. That's just who I am. I'm just like pissed that went on for me. I'm just pissed that's like what went on, and that's what you did to me, and you did that, and you did that, and you do that. Oh my God, like blame. You can keep blaming, but like, when are you going to decide and take your power back and take radical responsibility and actually just say fuck it and create the life you desire? We can't create the life we desire and take radical responsibility if we're continuing to be in that victim mode and that blame game constantly. The two don't align. It's exhausting me mad all the time. It is. And there's nothing wrong with feeling anger. There's nothing wrong with feeling emotions at all. They're not bad or good. But we got to ask ourselves, like, how long do we want to feel this for? We're always going to feel them. If our soul didn't want, here's another thing with this. If our soul did not want obstacles, it would have stayed in spirit land. It would have stayed in spirit land. If our soul wanted peace, eternal peace, it would have stayed in spirit land. You quite literally get eternal peace in spirit land. So it would have stayed there. It knew, your souls know what's going on in Earth. Earth is a hot spot. Why? Earth is a hot spot because souls know they can get a lot of soul points here. What soul points are is when souls can grow and overcome certain obstacles and limiting beliefs and traumas. You get soul points, your soul raises in frequency, and then it comes back with a cooler mission or a more purposeful purpose. Soul points equals swag. Yes. 100%. It's like a video game. Getting the points. Souls know Earth is a hotspot. Souls fight every fucking day. They fight each other to get into a human body on Earth. They literally fight each other. Okay? And if souls wanted peace, they would have stayed in spirit land. If souls didn't want obstacles, they would have stayed in spirit land. If souls didn't want to experience trauma and emotions, they would have stayed in spirit land. All of these things, our soul is thriving. Our soul's thriving. The level of emotional mastery that I've trained myself in over the past 8 years is so interesting because I can be angry or sad or crying while at the same time I'm like seeing the full helicopter view of it. I'm like, my soul's loving this right now. Like, this is happening for me because of X, Y, and Z. This is helping me what I get what I want here. So if you're asking for something like not being affected by anyone or anything, not letting anyone or anything affect how you feel, then you're going to get met with opportunities of people that are going to try and be affecting how you feel so you can practice. I remember one time I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to wake up and just have boundaries. Like, I can't wait till I wake up one day and I just have boundaries. And then I was like, wait a minute. I can't just like wake up one day and just magically have boundaries, right? When you ask for something, you don't just like get it and know how to do it. You get opportunities where you have no other choice but to practice that. So I didn't get like when I asked for a version of myself who was good at having energetic boundaries, I didn't just wake up and get this version, this all-knowing version of how to have an energetic boundary. I woke up and got people asking me to do things that I didn't want to do and asking me to hang out who I didn't want to hang out with. And I got woken up and my higher self attracted situations that were giving me an opportunity to practice having those energetic boundaries. So then I would have to ask myself, what's the version of Allie who has boundaries? What would she say? And I would have to make decisions of that version of Allie because my nervous system wanted to go back to people pleaser, but I had to create this blueprint, this character of myself, the version of Allie who has boundaries. And I had to ask, okay, what would she say? What would she do? Oh, she would say no. Would she explain why? Nope. She wouldn't fucking care what they think of her. She would say no. So it was hard and you gotta it's really hard at first. And I'm like, N-O, shaking, send. And everything in my nervous system hated it. But my soul, I knew that I was never going to be the version of me who had boundaries unless I embodied that now. We're always one decision away every single day of the version of ourselves who is a more aligned version with our most authentic soul self or with the thing that we want to feel or have. So we can't just wait until one day when there's a version of us who is free and clear of this thing or who has this thing over here. We have to go, okay, what is that version of us saying yes to? What are they saying no to? What are they doing? How are they responding? And we will be met with situations and circumstances for us to practice that. If we ask for patience, we're not going to just wake up with patience. We're going to get a fuck ton of shit thrown at us. So it forces us to practice patience or else we'll go crazy. And each time you practice that thing that you're wanting to feel, you get better and better and better and better at it until it then becomes just a thing that you are. So if our souls didn't want obstacles and things going on, it would have stayed up in spirit land. Everyone's always like, I just want peace. I just want peace. No, you wouldn't, because you'd be so fucking bored. Imagine if vacations are only fun because they end. Truly, vacations are only fun because they end. Imagine if you went on vacation and it was a never-ending vacation for the rest of your life. It sounds like, oh, fun. No. You'd be there 4 weeks in with no obstacles, with nothing to work toward, with nothing going on at all. And you would get fucking bored. You would get so bored. And you would be like, what is the point of life? And soul says the point of life is that so that I can experience obstacles. Whenever I'm experiencing an obstacle, I'm watching my human self experience it. And I'm watching my soul going, this is so cool. This is awesome. This is helping us get what we've asking for. I'm getting massive soul points. I'm learning so much in this moment. I'm so grateful for this. And I'm literally just witnessing it happen at once. And so it's really cool. So I know that my emotions, it's good to feel them and they're valid, but they're not real. It's not the ultimate truth. And we gain this mastery in Unfuck Yourself Academy. We really dive. This is a big topic we really dive into. But I simultaneously have these two things going on. And it's so true. It's an opportunity. Yes, exactly. So I'm simultaneously having these two things happening. And it's the coolest thing ever because I can now experience emotions really, really quick. So something that would take me months or a year to really get through, I can literally get through in a few hours or a few minutes. And it's really, really cool because of the tools that we all dive into in Unfuck Yourself Academy. The letter writing and getting that initial anger out in the first place being one of the first steps. Good. So if we were on this endless, we think we don't want to leave from it until we're there for a lifetime. You'd want to get the fuck out if you just have peace and you're on an endless vacation and you have nothing to work toward, no obstacles. Our soul's not here for that. So you would quite literally get bored. You would quite literally get bored. So if we're trying to constantly run away from the obstacles, or like I talked about before, like getting out of the matrix, running away to the jungle or the woods or the cabin, or locking yourself in your house or whatever it is, because you think the obstacles can't find you there, they will. You'll manifest bugs, you'll manifest things breaking in the house, you'll manifest it somewhere. Just like we talked about yesterday. Soul loves obstacles. I was watching The Good Place on Netflix. Who here has watched The Good Place on Netflix? It's such a good show. And in one of the episodes, they finally got to the good place. But everyone in the good place was like getting dumber. Like they were just like, because they were getting so bored, because they just were on a constant vacation, because they had everything they wanted the whole time. And the four people who finally got to the good place, like Kristen Bell, or what's her name? Is it Kirsten Bell? And like all the other actors who got to the good place. They were like, oh my God, these guys are so bored because there's no obstacles here. Like there's nothing for them to work on. They have access to everything they want. And these people who were in the good place for years and years and years were getting like dumber and bored and didn't understand, just were like over it. So I promise you, our souls would be so bored if we had constant peace. Our souls would have stayed up in spirit land if they wanted that. They don't want that. That's why they're here. They fucking love Earth. They love Earth. So it's either we fall in love with them or we spend the rest of our life being annoyed we have obstacles. But I promise you, we will have obstacles our whole entire life, because that is how our soul grows. That is how our soul helps us get what we are asking for. Remember the story I talked about, how I was asking for more trust in people, and then all these obstacles came up of someone stealing from the business, someone lying to me, right? I was being shown how much I wasn't trusting people because I was attracting that. Obstacles are here to help us get what we are asking for. They're here to help us get what we're asking for. All those limiting beliefs, all the traumas that we've experienced, they're to help us get what and access our soul's greatest potential and the purpose that our soul has here on earth in this lifetime. One more time, if our soul didn't want obstacles, if our soul wanted eternal peace, it would have stayed up in spirit land. So we might as well start to see the fun in it and the adventure in it and the excitement about new discoveries in it, or else we're gonna live a life of just getting annoyed of obstacles. And remember that we talked about too, God, source, universe does not give you the obstacles. We do it to ourselves. Our soul does. Okay, so God doesn't hate you, source doesn't hate you. It's not that. God, source, universe, they want to give you what you want. But they cannot go against our free will. Meaning, if we don't believe that we can have something, or if we don't believe it's possible for us, or if we are stuck in victim mode, we tie God, source, universe hands behind their back because they can't help us feel anything different, because they can't go against our free will. If we constantly feel like a victim to life, that's what we keep manifesting. And even though God, source, universe wants to give you this incredible life, they literally fucking can't, because they can't go against your free will. If your free will is deciding to be a victim and to blame everyone else and to wait till something shifts to feel better, then they can't go against that. They can't give you anything that's going to help you not feel like a victim, because they can't go against our free will of what we are believing to be true. So it's our responsibility to know that we have immense power and that we can have complete control over our reality, and that miracles are possible for us. And if we believe that miracles are possible for us, then we're helping them out because they're like, guys, Source is like, guys, she believes miracles are possible for her. Now we can help her with this thing that we've been wanting to give her. Right? So we got to stop blaming Source and the universe. They can't do anything about it unless you do. They cannot do anything about it unless you do. They cannot go against your free will of what you're currently believing to be true. It's a universal law. So if you're blaming them and you're still like in your victim mode of whatever it is, they're like, what the fuck, man, I'm trying. We can't help you. Like, we want to help you, but we literally can't because we literally can't go against your free will. When we can understand that we have the control and we create what's going on based off our own emotions and what we believe to be true, and if we start to develop this thing of good things are possible for me, everyone has my best interest, miracles are possible for me. Every day I'm attracting situations that are for me and my highest good. Now they can start to also help. You're also creating this reality for yourself, but now they can start to help. And now you have the power of the universe helping too, of Source helping too. So now not only are you actively creating this new reality based on these new emotions, hi gorgeous, based on these new emotions, you are also now having God, Source, universe, whatever resonates with you, their help. But until you decide differently, they can't go against your free will of what you believe to be true. So everyone blames God or the universe, but it's not their fault. They are not biased. Okay? So what questions do you have for me? What questions do you have? And remember the homework. The homework is anyone that comes up when I say the word anger or trauma or limiting belief, we are getting out all the emotions to, writing them a letter. We're not sending a letter. We're not sending it. Getting out all the emotions. Be the victim for that moment, okay? Get it out, get it out, get it out, get it out. You're going to feel it like lift off your body. And then we're going to throw that shit away. Rip it up, throw it away, burn it, whatever you have to do, however many you have to do. That is your homework today. And again, in Unfuck Yourself Academy, we go on a deep dive of this and do all the steps to gain this emotional mastery and getting set free and clear of this trauma. This is all we really have time for today. Plus, we can't like pack in a bunch of things because we've got to give things time to marinate and heal. Already wrote the letter. Oh, she's fast. These past 20 minutes have been a whole mic drop moment. Oh my gosh, thank you. Our soul is giving us obstacles. Yeah, we manifest our obstacles based on how we feel, yes, and what we're asking for. Is there anything my soul wants me to know right now? Anything specific from Source? Good. I'm not really doing mini reads today. On the last day, we'll do a little bit of like a Q&A where I can go around and give little mini reads to everybody, or to maybe not everyone, but a few people. What is tomorrow about? Tomorrow is about intuition. Tomorrow we're going to learn some tools to be able, you'll be intuitively reading yes or no answers by the time you leave tomorrow, which will be cool. What types of obstacles could we face if we're asking for financial abundance? Good. So when I was asking for financial abundance, I dealt with getting evicted from my apartment and getting my car towed twice in 1 week when I had like $0 to my name. To get my car back each time, it was like $1,200 one time, $1,200 the other time, because of like the one time it was like all these unpaid parking tickets and expired registration, and so it got towed off the streets of LA. The other time was I didn't pay the car. I couldn't pay car payment for like 4 months, so then it also got towed, so then I had to pay all this money to get it back both times. So I was like asking to master money. So what happened was I got situations where like it forced me to manifest like a large sum of money very quickly. So I had to get in full trust with money. I had to get full neutrality with the situation, see what it was showing me, and I was able to manifest the money to get my car back both times. So after writing the letter, what do we do if we still feel like that person is still a block in our life, specifically starting to follow our life calling. Good. So writing the letter is the first thing. And then the next tools and the next steps you're going to find in the Unfuck Yourself Academy. So write the letter, because this is not just a quick process necessarily. So writing the letter is the first step. So let's start there. How did you get out of that experience? That's the situation I'm in. Oh, with money? Well, I had to start to feel really, really abundant, even when I physically didn't have money. And we'll talk about that on day 5, like embodying the fullest embodiment of your higher self now. We'll talk about that more there. What obstacles could we face if we are manifesting family relationship healing? Good. So family relationships really, really triggering you, feeling not seen by them, stuff like that. What advice do you have for anyone that's a procrastinator wanting to take your course? Good. So you can take it now through podcast form. So we not only have the videos and the modules filmed and recorded in your student portal, we also now have Unfuck Yourself Academy in podcast form, and it actually shows up for you on your podcast app. So, but you need like the special code and like log in to get in. So you can't just like search it if you're not in the course. You log in one time with a link, and then it actually pops up on your Apple Podcast app or Spotify. But you can only access it if you get like the login from you being in the Unfuck Yourself Academy. So for me, that, oh my God, like would be game changing. Like if I could take a course through a podcast app, because I'm always like, I like to walk, I'm driving, like I like to listen to it as I'm doing things. So that would help me with that, and I procrastinate. So that might help you with that. Good. Yeah. So even if you were in UIA in the past, you get access to the podcast form too. And what's really cool is if you're in Unfuck Yourself Academy, you get lifetime access to all future updates and just the program like for life, which is awesome. Everyone's wondering where Nikki went. Nikki's still here. Amazing. So homework tonight is writing the letters, ripping them up, burning them. If you want to take a video of burning them and like tag me so I can see, I would love that. I would thrive watching you rip up your letters. Please keep me updated in the DMs. And I will see everyone tomorrow for, oh my gosh, is it day 3 already? Oh my God, for day 4, which is intuition. We're going to be training on intuition. You'll be intuitively reading yourself before we leave. And remember, if you are in the membership, my monthly membership, UYA opens for you tomorrow. You're going to get a special $500 off code in your email, and you'll have 48 hours to use it. And then Unfuck Yourself Academy opens on Sunday. If you're on the wait list, you get a special code for $400 off for the first 48 hours. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Mwah.